Welcome to this Roll for Credit digital review. Today we're going to take a look at Catan Universe from XOZ and USM. This is a free-to-play version of Catan that is actually on all platforms.
All of them.
All of them. So you can play on your phone, your game console, a browser, your smart fridge. It's there.
The primary way that I played was on my smart fridge, yeah. Catan, I don't think we need to tell you what that is. It's a settlement game. It's pretty well known.
Roll dice, get cheap, move robber.
That's exactly how it goes. If you really want, you can watch our playthrough and how to plays from like 5 years ago on the subject.
Please don't.
Or don't. Yeah, so I think that's what makes this version unique and stand out. It is, as far as I can think, it's the only free-to-play digital board game. I usually don't associate a board game with being a free-to-play title. If you don't know, that means that you can play this right now, pay no money, pay the base game, and
pay no money.
And you can pay in-game money if you want in order to get things like extra expansions, rule sets, as well as even in-game avatars and other little aesthetic things that you can do.
Yeah, the free-to-play usually comes more into the CC or TCG market where there's a random packs to pull from.
So it seems like kind of a strange choice. But let me start with like the game itself and how it looks and plays and feels. And I think that for the most part, you'll play this and you'll find it's Catan. It's pretty standard. It pretty much does what it should do. There were a few things that I found somewhat lacking. You know, it's not exactly, we recently, or not, maybe not recently anymore, but we have played the Catan VR version. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, virtual reality, it's a very different thing, but, you know, we really enjoyed the presentation of that, I think, the look and feel, the style of it. This one is a little less impressive. It's not really going for much. It's the board, it's there. One of the things that kind of bothered me is the dice don't actually roll. You click an icon and then it just tells you it's a 6, and it's like almost a little out of the way. I wish it was a little more impactful.
In addition, a lot of this stuff is not very intuitive, I feel. Trading was very confusing.
Trading is weird, and I feel like trading is hard in all Catan games because it's a hard thing to replicate, not being face-to-face. But in this one especially, I agree, there's a weird system where you kind of offer things out and see if anyone wants them, but
also, if someone does do an offer, there's like buttons in the corner, you have to like match the color, I think, at first. It didn't have a name that you clicked.
Yeah, it is a little bit confusing. It's hard to tell if someone actually wants what you're giving them. And also, I ran into something that I believe is a glitch, but I'm not 100% sure, where sometimes the AI would offer a trade and I would try to accept it, and then they would back out and offer me a different trade, and I would try to accept that. And like eventually one of my games I just stopped trying to even trade at all because it didn't seem to be working, which is pretty much an issue. And the AI in general has maybe some weird quirks where they're not, again, this is another one where there are no difficulty levels for them. They're just kind of do their own thing. Now there is online play. You can play with actual human beings online in this
And
one.
I think that is cross-platform too.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. And that, I think, is one of the big benefits of the fact that it's free to play, which is that a lot of these online board games, even like some of the apps we've reviewed that are really well done.
No one there.
There's nobody playing, yeah. So that's a 1+ for this one. Unfortunately, I played an online game.
Were you able to finish it?
I did finish it.
Okay.
However, most of my opponents didn't. Not before too long, there were connection errors. It's just said this person left. There was one time where I had to wait for like 130 seconds for someone who was away from the computer for their timer to run out, and then I just was like, I guess they're not there. Okay, I'm waiting. So those things are a little frustrating to deal with. In general, it seems like it's pretty buggy and messy.
Oh yeah, if you go to the Steam page, and because people have reviews there, even the positive reviews, a lot of people are like, yeah, but I have all these bugs and stuff. And this is a free-to-play, and if you don't know, that's a general trend where it's initially free, but then you're going to have to do a lot of purchases afterwards, and this is no exception. You have an avatar you can customize and stuff, and like pets now, and even then, it's like, of a game where this isn't one where I feel like you really need that. I think you can buy tables too and stuff.
Yeah, there's a bunch of things like that. I will say, the in-game currency is gold, and I do think that the prices didn't seem outrageous. I don't think this is one of those ones, like you're not buying anything randomized, so
right.
That's one good part.
And part of the problem with this too, I think, not on there giving them a little credit, is when you're a free-to-play game also, and especially if you're on a lot of devices, especially I would say phone and computer, people aren't going to look at something if it's over $5,
Right.
They're going to guess like, we just reviewed the Ticket to Ride, and I really did like, even though it was $20 or $50 total to get everything, which I'm sure some people just gas like, you didn't wait until it was 90% off on a Steam sale?
Right. It's so I think they tried something. They're trying something new, and it's
and it makes sense. It's
works.
Catan. It's one of those gateway games. So if you're gonna do a free to play game to try to get people into it, it's gonna be either Catan, Ticket to Ride, or Munchkin.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And it seems like when I did play online, I mean, it did fill up the other people pretty quickly, even though they dropped out after. So it seems like there is a player base out there, and there are some cool things also that I appreciated. There are actually leaderboards. There's also even like an experience aspect to it. You actually can gain levels as you play. You get points for winning. And they had a pretty good system of stats, I thought. Once the game is over, you can see which player did this, which dice numbers came up most often. There are achievements built in, so that's always fun to go for. Different scenarios that you can play. So there's some good things in there, but by and large, the system as a whole, man, is pretty messy.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, it's free to play, and this is my personal preference and not usually enjoying those kind of things. It's just like all the other things whether it's Carcassonne, the Ticket to Ride, the VR one, which is a much higher price point to get into, but those are all just so nicer now at this point. Like if this is the first board game digital, it'd be like, yeah, it's gonna be buggy. But at this point, I'm like, we have better options out there. Hell, back when we were in college, we had that PS3 version of Catan, and Magellan would always beat the crap out of us.
Yeah, there's been multiple digital Catans. They've got a framework in place for this. No, there's no doubt. And maybe this one kind of misses the mark in a lot of ways. Here are our crits and misses for Catan Universe. Crits. There are a variety of scenarios and expansions that you can play with, even if some of those are locked behind a paywall, and there are a bunch of stats and achievements that you can check out. The game is playable on multiple platforms, even just in your regular internet browser, so it's easy to jump in and out of games no matter what you're using.
Combine this with crossplay, that means there should be a large, healthy player base if you ever want to play with people online.
It's free to play, which means that even if you aren't sure about whether you like the game or not, you can jump right in and try it out for yourself with no charge.
Oh no, looks like you rolled some misses. There are a lot of weird glitches and bugs, whether you're playing online and people dropping off, or not in the AI acting weird.
When the game works, it functions okay, but often there are these strange things that occur. You either get kicked out, or AI just doesn't seem to be doing what it's supposed to. That can really put a damper on the experience.
The controls are very unintuitive, even after completing the tutorial. This can be a pain when you want to find out where you can build, or even just trying to complete a trade. It isn't the best looking digital game we've seen, and some of the components are pretty lazy, including not actually seeing some dice roll.
It would be nice to have a little more polish on that. In particular, you have these avatars that you can customize, but I personally find the faces of the people sort of repulsive and have no interest in customizing them.
We're also not huge fans of the free-to-play model. We'd rather just make a one-time purchase to have our game and play.
It has its benefits, but in terms of Catan in particular, it seems like a strange choice. Like we said, Catan Universe is free to play, so you don't need to take our word for it. You can go out there right now, and because it's in browser, you don't even need to install it or download anything. You can just play it right there on your computer in Chrome or Internet Explorer or Safari or whatever you're using these days.
Netscape.
Yeah, Netscape, that's a good one. So you go try it out for yourself, and you may find some fun with it, especially if you really love Catan and you're just really looking for a group to play with online all the time. This is probably your best option for that. But if you just kind of like Catan, and maybe you've moved on to other games at this point, this is definitely not going to draw you back in.
Yeah, I think if you have like a PlayStation, the whole PlayStation PlayLink system for a lot of games seems to be much better. The Switch is getting a bunch. I think it's getting its own version of Catan.
Yeah.
too. And if you have the money to save up for it, VR is just, with tabletop simulators, the Catan VR is fantastic. It's beautiful. You know, I just feel at this point there's so many better options you're better to save your money on.
Yeah.
Even though it's free.
Yeah, it really, in a lot of ways, it just feels like this came out like 10 years ago, even maybe 15 years ago. Like, it feels like kind of like, oh man, this would be really cool if I was like in the computer lab in 7th grade and I could play this with people. But in 2019, it's just kind of clunky and dated, unfortunately. So,
Well, hopefully they'll partner up with Neopets.
yeah, oh, that'd be good. I want the RuneScape expansion.
Oh man.
Hey, maybe you're out there playing Catan Universe right now.
Let us know if you've been able to complete a full game without disconnecting in the comments down below. You can also talk to us on Facebook, Instagram. Try to see if you can find us in there. We're sort of a little glitchy. We may or may not appear.
Some lucky people got to play with the Roll for Crit character recently, and then they left. Maybe they were disgusted by me. They didn't chat with me either. Really offensive. Anyway, we'll talk to you guys next time. Let us know what you think. This has been Roll for Crit. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Will, and this has been a digital review.
Hey, if you liked this video, then like this video and subscribe to our channel for more board game content.
Would you kindly do it now?